Hey, welcome back to some improvisation stuff here with Jonathan Reichert. So in video one, we quickly talked about the A minor pentatonic scale. Go check it out if you haven't, okay? Then you'll get caught up on that. Video number two, we talked about 7 different bends you can play in there. And then in this video, I'd like to just get you playing all of that in 12 keys, okay? And then we'll move on from there. So we're still talking about minor. In the next video, I think we'll talk about major now. But all of this for now, I've just been talking about minor. It's an easy way to start. So what we're going to do now is just make sure, if you go check out this video, you need to make sure you know the names of the notes on your top string here, the 6th string. And then you'll be good to go. This will be a nice quick lesson, okay? So you're going to take everything we've learned, all the same bends and moving and fingers, and just physically move it horizontally to another area of the guitar and play the exact same stuff. The only reason one of the reasons I would say it's important to try all the keys though is because some parts of the guitar are bigger and some parts are smaller. So if we were going to move, let's just take an example then, okay? So if I wanted to play in G minor pentatonic now, I have to go in my head and find that G note that I learned in my video there, and that's the 3rd fret. And then I'll take the exact same stuff we did in A minor and move it to that area. And it's a little bit bigger, so I have to stretch out a little bit. But all the same notes. Now I'm playing in G minor. So all you're going to do is try different areas of the guitar. Just remember to try all of them at some point. Honestly, I've seen the guy or girl who doesn't know all the keys. They got tons of great material and you're jamming, and then you're like, oh, let's play in C sharp minor. And then they glaze over and look like that. So you want to make sure whatever you're learning, you know where to play it anywhere in any key, so that when you're playing a tune and you want to do some improvising, you're not going to be held back all because you didn't figure out the names of the notes on one string. You know, so it's very worth trying. Okay, just a couple more examples here. If I wanted to play in C sharp, okay, I would go all the way up to my C and make it sharp like we talked about before in my knowledge primer videos there. And then here we go, C sharp minor pentatonic. Sounds complicated, but it's not. There we go, C sharp minor. So that's a little bit higher than A. If you wanted to go way up there, it's another place that's worth checking out, the sort of shred zone. If let's say G, maybe I wanted to play G minor again, but up high. I could go all the way up to my G. Okay, same dot actually. The same. I have dot references on mine. If you have dots, so 15th fret, we got G. And it's a smaller area, so I don't use my pinky as much up there. I often use it on the top string still. But then on the 2nd string and the 1st string, I might just use my ring finger now, especially if I wanted to be ready for some big bends. So yeah, now you can take everything you learned in video 1 and video 2. Hopefully you've been having fun with those already. But you want to break out of the box a bit and play the whole guitar, and you'll look like you know a little bit more about what you're doing, and not only be stuck in the key of A that you first learned. Okay, there's one funny exception in case you get stuck. When you're playing E minor, you can play the 12th fret, of course, but you could also play the open strings. My guitar might be a little out of tune here, but let's see. We're going to go 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3. I'm basically doing the same shape as all the others, but I don't need the 1st finger because they are all open strings. So if I did it that way, it would look like this. I'm going to pretend to play notes down here with my 1st finger. And so on. But you don't need that. This is a nice easy scale to play now, open. So I'm just going to use my middle finger. How about? Lots of good twangy hammer-ons and pull-offs you can play. So that's kind of a fun place to play in E minor when you don't want to play way up in the high area. there's some funny things you could do in that open pentatonic that you wouldn't be able to do in other keys. There's all kinds of neat kind of ringy sounds you can get. Anyway, so that's about it for this lesson. Moving through all the 12 keys. Now here's just some pointers for practicing. You want to make sure you're always playing along with some music when you're just working out ideas, so that you know by listening that you're playing the right notes. Sometimes you might squeeze into a different key by mistake and not realize it, and then if you're playing along with music, you'll notice if you're playing the wrong notes, okay? So the way I recommend doing that is head onto YouTube, another page, and start by searching the key first. Let's say E minor, for example. It's common to abbreviate minor with a small m, so I would say E, small m, and then jam track or backing track. Okay, that's a good start. I like to even personalize a little more and add a genre into there. So you could search E, M, metal, jam track. That's getting very specific, and you'll find something, you know, that you really want to play along with, and then you can start saving some of them as you like. I like the funk tracks. There's a great jam track channel, a guy named Quist, Q-U-I-S-T, Quist Jam might be what it's called. Tons of jam tracks in different styles. And then also you might want to go and play with some jam tracks that are in 12 keys. There's not very many, but I have a channel called Fusion Jam Tracks that has some jam tracks in all 12 keys. And if you get stuck on there and don't know what you're doing, there's a couple other ones out there. If you get creative, maybe search all keys or 12 keys, all minor keys. You know, just get creative with your searches and you'll find an unlimited selection of fun jam tracks, okay? So just remember, the main idea here in this lesson is getting to know the different keys. So of course, do what you did in lesson 1 and 2, spend time learning ideas in one key, but then make sure you know how to find them just like really quick. Get somebody to test you and say a letter name, and then you know how to find it. Like G minor, C minor, A flat minor, F minor, D flat minor. You know, just make sure they're at the tip of your finger, so when you're ready to jam out and play with something, you're not going to be sitting there and having to work it all out mathematically, and then the music's already over. Okay, so have fun with that. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if there's other things you would like to learn about. I'm keeping this whole series very, I don't know what the word is for it, organic, I guess. I don't really like to teach like licks, not because I don't like licks, but because there's a billion lick videos on YouTube. So go find some licks and learn them, and then apply them to these keys. That's great too. I like to take you know, some old classic rock solos, maybe take one idea out of it and then learn to play it in all 12 keys using this pentatonic scale knowledge, you know. So there's lots of things you can do, but I'm mostly coming from you know, starting from scratch point of view and just coming up with some basic ideas and seeing where you can go with your own material. That's kind of what I like to do. So have fun. We'll catch you next time. Stay tuned for I think the 4th video coming up. We'll talk about some major key options, and then soon after that we'll see where we get to. Have a good one.